Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome back to another series of Zombicide unboxing videos for classic or the original Zombicide. These are the special guest boxes. So for each one, we're going to go through them separately as different videos. Just so if you only want to look at one, you can just pick out which one you want to look at. But each one typically has two new survivors created specifically or designed by one of these other artists. We have another one there as well. There's the John Kovlak has a little bit different, but then each one also contains the regular version and the Zombicide version. Now, some of these are just original cool survivors. Some of them are ones that kind of fit or theme maybe into other worlds that they've created. So they're very neat. So the common thing we'll get in all of them is we'll get our two oversized survivor ID cards. And then the back side will have the Zombvivor versions. So these are the classic ones. If you want to play 2.0, they do have the reboot pack, which does have the little tiny brand new cards, which some of these guys do have minor changes on those. I'm not going to go over them in this video. If that's something you'd like to see, I went through that pack in a previous video. You can always go look up that if you want to see those individual cards. But if you ever want to see a comparison, I can possibly do it, but I'm not going to go through each one of these because it's just a lot of extra work. For mostly the part being, they dropped abilities that don't exist in 2.0 anymore. And I'll try and mention that. I'm just not going to pull up the other cards. The other thing you're going to get in the pack is you're also going to get 2 extra clips. Of course, these were to keep track of your adrenaline levels throughout the game. So you get those in each one. And if you're not familiar with what Zombvivor versions are, it's a special mode that for classic versions, so like for this, for example, we'll get 2 versions of this miniature. One's a regular and one's a zombie version. And then once your survivor dies, you can flip over their card. You can play as a zombie version of their character. Reselecting their abilities. They have slightly different abilities. They have more health. They have up to 5 health instead of the 2 or 3 that you start with. So they're a little bit more durable. Or you can always opt to just start with them. So that's the basis I just wanted to go over for each video will be that way. Then we'll go ahead and hop into these one at a time. And I'll have the link for the description for each one in the videos for all one. So if you've watched one, you want to jump to the other one quickly, you can do that. Alright, let's get started. Alright, our special guest for this video is for Edouard Guiton. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. This is actually just new. So the kind is on the back. You can flip over. Little description of the person and what they do, which is really cool. Plus then they have some stuff talking about the 2 different characters. So we have Goog, the hospital boy, and we're going to get Kamiko, the psychotic bunny. So yeah, there's some very interesting and different kind of designs. A little bit, because again, they're guest artists, so they're drawn outside the normal art style, so they're a little bit different, but they do theming very well. Let's go ahead and just hop in and look at them. So our first one up is we have Dude. Got this medical stuff on. I thought he was missing an arm, but his hand is pointing towards you. So there's the miniature for him. I like the traditional Zombicide, they'll come clad in like one color or the other, but yeah, it's hard to sometimes see the exact detail on these guys from their miniatures. Yeah, I got some swords, a bunch of medical backpacks. Can always be really fun about picking up these guys is the fact that you can get maybe some special abilities. If you're looking for one, you're like, hey, this guy has that ability I want. Alright, so Dude here starts with Scavenger. So we're going to go ahead and read what Scavenger does. Or I won't because it's not listed in my book, which is weird. Scavenger. Alright. Survivor can search any zone. This includes zones, indoor alleys, hospital zones, helipads, and tents. So yeah, for 2.0, obviously technically there's no hospital zones, helipads, or tents as of right now, but that could change in the future. But it means they can choose out walking the streets and look for stuff. It's gonna be a very helpful action for finding some new stuff that you don't have. In yellow, of course, we always have +1 action. In orange, 1 free combat action, and then webbing. Webbing lets you use all cards in your backpack as if they were in your hand. So some of that stabbing, you're going to be picking up a lot of stuff. This can be very great for them to swap weapons very easily, or all of a sudden pull a Molotov out without having to carry it, stuff like that. In red, +1 die for ranged, Bloodlust, Combat, and Dreadnought Walker. Dreadnought Walker means they do not take damage from walkers. This is going to be a good mechanic for someone that wants to just sit around. They can absorb some hits from the smaller guys, and then while everyone else takes out the bigger guys, so they can draw their attention away. Or if they open up a building or go into a room and there's a lot of walkers around, they can run in and go activate stuff without them to worry about taking the damage. Now, keep in mind that means they can't move unless they pay the additional cost. All of a sudden, if 5 walkers swarm on them, they won't take any damage, they won't die from them, but they still can't escape them because they'd have to pay 1 extra point and they wouldn't have 6 action points. So they'd have to eventually take care of them, and that could be the catch-22, is they get stuck in a group of zombies they can't take out fast enough, and then something bigger that can hurt them might follow along. We also have Bloodlust Combat. It says, spending action with the survivor, move up to 2 zones containing at least 1 zombie, game of free combat action. So it's combining your move and your combat action, could be attack or range, into 1 action. But you have to move to somewhere where there is a zombie. Yeah, so that's pretty cool there. Alright, if we flip Dude over, we get the Zombicide version, who puts down his guns. Loses the swords out of some of the swords out of his backpack. We zoom up on our miniature there, maybe. There we go. Picked up a chainsaw. Still has the big old backpack. Some of the swords are in there, but now they're like shoved in there. Still wearing all his medical gear, but is a little bit more zombified. So one of the key features of these guys are their yellow abilities. So in blue, Deep Scavenger. In yellow, instead of having a free action to do whatever they want, now it's forced down to just 1 free ranged action. So it gets a free action with specified on what they can do. In orange has Reaper Combat and Webbing. Reaper means anytime they take out a zombie in a group, they can take out an additional of the same. So if they defeat 3 walkers, they get 1 additional walker. If they take out 2 runners, they get 1 additional runner. In red, Bloodlust Combat, Dreadnought Walker, and then now it changes to Is That All You've Got? So that says, this skill used anytime survivor is about to get wounded, discard 1 equipment card in your inventory for each wound, and you get a wound card per discarded equipment. So although Dreadnought Walker prevents any damage from walkers, Is That All You've Got? While Scavenger could potentially give you the ability to survive hits from even bigger things. So if you go all the way to the red line, you play all the way through once, and you play it back the second time. Combining those two, they can survive just about anything, at least for a couple hits. Alright, so that's pretty cool there. Alright, then let's look at our next survivor. We have Kamiko. She's a very interesting costume. She's like a bunny mascot, but she apparently lost her bottom half. And then she's just kind of poking out of the little oversized head. So this is going to look a little weird on the board with everything else, but that's still kind of funny. I'd rather, it's almost funny as I don't know which would be weirder, having this where she's like half mascot costume running around, or if you just had someone in a full-on bunny mascot, you know, if that would look even weirder. But she does have a little axe with her. So she starts with Taunt. Taunt is an awesome ability. Lets you select a zone, the line of sight of any zombies. You can see all zombies in that zone activate trying to move towards you. They will ignore any other survivors. They will not attack them. They'll move out of their range. They're just trying to get to you. So this is a great way to pull enemies off of your friendly survivors, get them away from them, or set up traps. Pull them closer, maybe taunt them into a way so they're closer to someone else that needs to do melee attack, or maybe into a ranged attack so those guys don't have to move. Or put them together and then throw a Molotov when two groups are running into each other and now you have more at the same time. So there can be some really cool ideas with that. In orange, +1 guy for melee. We have hit and run. Hit and run means anytime you defeat a zombie in combat, you get a free move action. You does not spend actions to perform this move if there are zombies in the zone. So you can use this to escape. Take out zombies. There's too many for you to handle. As long as you took out one, you can at least get away and back up and try something different. Or another fun way to use it is if you defeat the last zombie in a group, you can then use that to move and start getting closer to the next group so you don't have to spend an extra move action. In orange, +1 die roll for combat. Ambidextrous, which means you can hold 2 weapons at the same time. But more specifically, it treats all melee and ranged weapons as if they had the dual symbol. So now you can pick up and clash with everything. And then Reaper Combat. Yes, very interesting there. And then let's look at her zombified side. Zombvivor loses an eyeball off the bunny rabbit. I like that the costume got tore up as well. Very cool. It's like the costume almost became zombified in and of itself. But I do like how the hand got really huge. Kind of like some of the abominations do and stuff like that. Alright, so she keeps taunt. In yellow, she now has 1 free melee action. In orange, she has hit and run, but now she has Zombie Link. Zombie Link means whenever you draw a zombie card that says they get a free action, she gets an additional free turn. Not just 1 action, but a full free turn. So this can be very useful, like, earlier on. Because it can let you take out a bunch of guys before they activate so that, hey, you can finish them off quick, or it could give you a chance to escape. In red, +1 die roll for combat, Barbarian, and Reaper Combat. Barbarian lets you replace your dice of your melee weapon with the number of zombies, actually it's actors, so zombies and survivors, in the zone. So that means if your weapon would normally roll 2 dice and there are 5 actors, zombies, survivors total in that zone, now you roll 5 dice instead. So it's going to be very good for taking out a lot of guys. Yeah, so these two are very neat characters if you're kind of looking for hit and run type tactics almost. Guys searching around, finding a bunch of items. Dude can find items, you can pass them off to Kamiko, who can use them as dual weaponing, or have give her some weaker weapons with Barbarian, because then the die roll doesn't matter if it has a high maybe damage count versus a low dice rolling. Taunt can be again useful to like maybe draw them away from dude so he can find stuff, or it has walkers. Draw him right into his path. He doesn't care. If he has a dreadnought, he can walk right through him. Plus, they have stuff like Bloodlust and that. So yeah, these two make a really good, interesting team. So that again was Edouard Guiton. Kind of like anime style art. Very cool. Alright, see you guys in the next special guest video. Bye.